Hey guys, Senpai Fruit here today to talk about chapter 125 of Tokyo Ghoul and to delve further in to the whole discussion when it comes to tarot cards within this chapter. Now, before I get into the bulk of this video, I do want to say that I apologize if my commentary is off for this video. I am completely going into this unscripted. I mean, I do have bullet points going into this video, but with that being said, this video is entirely unscripted. So if I stutter, if I say something that, I go back on, I'm sorry in advance. But nevertheless, let's go and talk about the tarot cards because this is a very interesting topic that follows the recent chapter of Tokyo Ghoul Re. But before I go ahead and discuss the tarot cards that have been found within chapter 125 of Tokyo Ghoul Re, I want to go ahead and define what a tarot card truly is for those guys who are unaware of what a tarot card is coming into this video. Now, the tarot deck is made up of 78 tarot cards in total, each with its own tarot card meaning. There are 22 major arcana cards and 56 minor arcana cards, and if you do the math, that's 78 total cards. And these cards span across 4 suits. You got cups, pentacles, swords, and wands. Now, the major arcana actually consists of 22 cards that reflect key archetypes in our spiritual lessons of our lives. What I'm trying to say here essentially is if you look at the final page of Tokyo Ghoul Re, chapter 125 respectively, where Kaneki is actually resting his head in Toka's lap in the fetal position, we see what looks to be, or well, definitely is, a tarot card within this final page. But the problem with this tarot card is the fact that the community is now debating what tarot card Ishida is truly trying to push across. Many are saying that it's a reverse 19 tarot card. Some are saying it's a reverse 16 tarot card. Some are even saying that it's either a reverse 6 or a reverse 1 tarot card. Now, at the end of the day, we're not exactly too sure what Ishida is truly trying to push. So, with this tarot card, I'm actually going to delve into each and every possibility. So, before I get into the content of this chapter alone when it comes to tarot cards, we're going to have to actually talk about the title. The title X. This is a tarot card. X, the Roman numeral for 10, otherwise known as the Wheel of Fortune. Now, when I do actually get into the bulk of this video, you will realize the fact that we are possibly seeing numerous different tarot cards throughout the duration of this chapter. So that's where I think the Wheel of Fortune is really coming in. I think that everything on the Wheel of Fortune, all the tarot cards that we see within this chapter will somehow play an effect, and X is just symbolizing the numerous different, tarot cards that we see throughout the duration of this chapter. As far as the chapter title goes, that's going to be basically it for that. I'm not exactly too sure if there's anything else to it. There could be something else to it, but that's kind of what I'm thinking about it right now. There's not much to delve into. So to start this off, let's go ahead and discuss what the reverse 16 would mean for the story if this is truly the tarot card that we're looking at. Now, I'm going to say this right now, just right out the gate. We are absolutely fucked. Toka and Kaneki are absolutely in hot, deep shit if this is a reverse 16. A reverse 16 is no good, guys. Reverse 16, the Tower Tarot card, especially the reverse Tower, is no good whatsoever. So, I'm just going to go ahead and get right into reading some quotes, and then we're going to talk about what this could possibly mean for the story. So, when it comes to the upright, the Tower indicates a time of great turmoil and destruction, which will inevitably bring with it change and regeneration. Now, this is the upright 16. This would be a normal 16. Reversed, however, the Tower card actually indicates that you are simply delaying the necessary destruction you need to go through this difficult time in order to learn an important lesson. Do not resist it. So in the case that what we're looking at right now is a reverse 16, and I pray to Ishida this is not a reverse 16, just give our man Kaneki a break, bro. But if we are looking at a reverse 16 tarot card right now, as I said before, we are in some deep shit. There's going to be some inevitable tragedy that could be referring to Toka, maybe even Kaneki, and I'm going to say that right now. Toka may end up dying in the future. This may be foreshadowing Toka's death in the form of a tarot card. So with that being said, if this is in fact a reverse 16 tarot card and Ishida is trying to push across that we're in some deep shit right now, which I pray, Ishida, give them a break. I know Tokyo Ghoul is supposed to be a tragedy, but give it a break. Just make them happy for once. But nevertheless, inevitable tragedy will be coming in the future, and and it will destroy the foundation of Toka and Kaneki's lives. And I think this inevitable tragedy mainly will be referring to Toka, and who maybe knows, I'm someone who believes that Toka may end up dying in the future. With this chapter in mind, not even the symbolism only, like this chapter was a huge death fight for Toka in the long run, but with the symbolism combining this chapter, Toka could very well end up dying in the future. But nevertheless, if there is a 16 at the end of the day, we will be facing some huge tragedies. Again, Toka possibly ending up dying in the future, maybe even Kaneki ending up dying in the future. Who really knows? I'm not going to say Kaneki's going to end up dying. I mean, like, he is our main character, and as much as Tokyo Ghoul doesn't really exhibit that of plot armor all too often, I'm not going to say that Kaneki's going to end up dying. If anybody dies out of the two, the pairing of Toka and Kaneki, I'm going to say right now, it's going to be Toka. So with that being said, with the tarot cards in mind, that may very well be the future if we are seeing a reverse 16 within this final page. Let's go ahead and move on to the next possibility, a reverse 19. Now, this is mainly what a lot of people are believing, but then again, I don't think that it pertains to the story all too much. As I said before, the story is definitely a tragedy. Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re are tragedies, but nevertheless, this is also known as the Sun tarot card, and I'm going to go and read two quotes off for you guys. The Sun reversed. Yes, the reverse 19, the reverse Sun, you already know. The Sun reversed indicates that finding the positive aspects to a particular situation may prove to be difficult. Now, this is basically Kaneki's life in a nutshell. Kaneki doesn't have many positives in his life, so, I mean, it definitely resembles Kaneki. His life is nothing short of a tragedy, and Kaneki always has a hard time just finding the positive aspects in certain situations. And the next quote says, "You may have experienced setbacks that have damaged your enthusiasm or optimism, and have perhaps led to you to question whether you can really achieve what you have set out to achieve." So what I'm thinking about this, if we are seeing a reverse 19, which I pray it is a reverse 19, this is probably the best one we could get for the future Tokyo Ghoul. That way it won't be a tragedy and whatnot. But that aside, maybe Kaneki in the future will question if he can truly mend the relations between ghouls and humans. Now, we know Kaneki has set out to create Goat. Goat is a foundation that strives to make ghouls and humans on an equal playing field. It's a ghoul resistance foundation, and maybe this may be foreshadowing Kaneki in the future questioning if he can truly mend the relations with ghouls and humans, with Furuta in his way, the CCG in his way. It's going to be a very, very hard thing for Kaneki to do, and I'm definitely thinking that quote in particular could be referring to that. But the first quote definitely does resemble Kaneki in the long run, not as much Toka, but definitely Kaneki. His life, as I said before, nothing short of a tragedy, and I mean, like, there's no positives in Kaneki's life at this point, aside from Toka, maybe, but there's really not many positives that Kaneki can find within his day-to-day life. So, I mean, this does kind of call back to what we're seeing within Tokyo Ghoul right now, but I do believe that the reverse 16 and the other two that I'm going to present after this definitely do have, I guess, more of a relation to the general story of Tokyo Ghoul Re. So, with that being said, that's the reverse 19. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the reverse 6. Again, what the fuck? If this is a reverse 6, which I don't think is all too likely because I definitely see a 1 there, but if this is a reverse 6, again, we are in some deep, deep shit. Let's go and read one of the first quotes here. "You may feel that one close union is starting to fragment or break down." Right now, right out of the gate, Kaneki and Toka, this could be foreshadowing a break in their relationship with one another. Your vibrations with each other may be out of tune, and you may feel as if you both are out of harmony. Now, I want to say this right now. This is the Lover's Tarot card. This one definitely does call back to what we've seen within Tokyo Ghoul chapter 125, Tokyo Ghoul Re specifically, and it's possible, with this in mind, the reverse 6 in mind, that Kaneki and Toka's relationship with one another after this point in time may end up breaking down. It would be incredibly sudden as well if it were to happen, but I don't think it's going to be reverse 6. I definitely see a 1 there, and I mean, as much as it does call back to what we've seen within Tokyo Ghoul as of recently, the reverse 6 is one of the most least likely options. I'm definitely thinking it's either reverse 19 or reverse 16. But nevertheless, let's go and continue on to the final one that I'm going to discuss within this page specifically, because there are more tarot cards, believe it or not. Let's go and talk about the reverse 1. The reverse 1, also known as the Magician Reversed, often suggests that you may be out of touch with reality and struggling to bring yourself back down to earth. Now, am I the only one that is just just saying, this is Kaneki in a nutshell. The man is constantly out of touch with reality. We have watched as Kaneki has constantly had mind battles with himself, and especially within Tokyo Ghoul Re, with him trying to find out who he truly is, trying to remember his memories, even though for the most part we can see that he's definitely remembered a majority of his memories, if not all of them. This is still Kaneki in a nutshell. Next one, there may be confusing impatience and a lack of a clear plan. This represents both Kaneki and Toka, especially within the chapter not really having a clear plan. Toka's character especially, because we never really see Toka having a clear plan throughout Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re. She never really plans ahead. Kaneki a little bit as well, but mainly Toka, I'm going to say that right now. But especially within the context of this recent chapter, this represents both Kaneki and Toka. There's going to be some inevitable tragedy following their sex with one another, and maybe it might have to do with a child. We do know that ghouls technically can't give birth to children. It will, like, the mother apparently just consumes the ghoul or the child. I don't know, I'm not going to get into that, but this could represent some form of tragedy, which wouldn't be very hard to debate when it comes to Tokyo Ghoul Re. So with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for that part of the tarot card video. That is what we saw within the final page of Tokyo Ghoul Re. Is there a reverse 16? Is there a reverse 19? Is there a reverse 6? Or is there a reverse 1? Tell me what you guys believe in the comment section below. I'm going to say it right now. The reverse 16 definitely, for me, does refer to Tokyo Ghoul the most, and definitely does have most in common with Tokyo Ghoul. But I'm really hoping it's reverse 19 because, I mean, like, we can't have constant tragedy in Tokyo Ghoul. I mean, it may be a tragic story, it's a seinen after all, but I just want Kaneki and Toka to get a break. I mean, like, come on, man. But nevertheless, there's still more tarot cards to cover, believe it or not. Ishida is planting so many tarot cards in this chapter. Now, this comes from my friend Jalen Hawk. He found a 7 Chariot tarot card, to be exact. Now, I found a quote from the Chariot card, and I have to read this to you guys. This definitely refers to the future of Tokyo Ghoul, and in a big way as well. It also is kind of calling back to the reverse 1 card, so I'm going to read this quote right now. You will need to use the strength of your willpower to overcome any obstacles or challenges in your way. And I'm saying that right now, even though the Chariot card is found on Toka, this is referring to Kaneki and his road to mending the relationships within ghouls and humans. The CCG, Furuta, these guys are standing in Kaneki's way, and apparently with this Tarot card in mind, if Kaneki is able to use the strength of his willpower, he will be able to overcome this obstacle and this challenge in his way. Now, there's not much else to talk about when it comes to this Tarot card, but I just found this, and I found it to be very, very interesting when it comes to Tokyo Ghoul Re and the prospect of what we've seen within this chapter as far as tarot cards go. And the final tarot card that I'll be discussing is something that not many people are discussing, and because of this, I didn't even know if it was a tarot card to begin with, but after doing research, I am almost certain it is a tarot card. Once again, found in the final page of Tokyo Ghoul Re, chapter 125, we have a 5 in the form of tallies on Kaneki's foot. Now again, I wasn't exactly too sure if this was a tarot card or not, so I actually looked at the tarot cards that we've seen in the past of Tokyo Ghoul, and we have seen tarot cards in the form of tallies respectively, and this one, definitely after doing research into the tarot card itself, it has to be a tarot card. It just refers to the story so much where we are right now specifically, and as I said before, we have actually seen tarot cards in the past in the form of tallies. For example, the kind of things that are on Juzo's hair, the kind of like X and then the numbers, those are tarot cards. So with that in mind, I am thinking that this could possibly be a tarot card, especially when I read up on it. This definitely is a tarot card in my mind, so I'm going to read this to you guys. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section below. First quote here: when we are locked in the throes of addiction or arms of love, we are submitting body and soul to something or someone. This is Kaneki and Toka. This is Kaneki and Toka within this chapter. They're submitting body and soul to one another. That's another way to say they're having sex with one another. They're making love. They're devoted to one another. This could be a very long-lasting relationship between the two. However, when I read this other quote, it kind of contradicted it. So let's go ahead and read this quote here. This is the second quote that I found when researching the 5 tarot card. Sexual prowess is released in this number that simultaneously controls and enslaves our lust. Addictions and commitments become 2 sides of the same coin. When a card with the number 5 on it appears in your tarot reading, you're either in control or completely submissive. This right here represents Kaneki and Toka's lack of thinking when they went in and had sex with one another. Addictions overthrow commitments. We could see a committed relationship here. However, we are contradicted with these two quotes because addictions are said to overthrow commitments when your tarot card is that of the five reading. These quotes just completely contradict each other, so it could really be either one at the end of the day. It would be very, very interesting, though. I'm thinking that the second quote really does pertain to the other quotes that we've read about because, you know, addictions overthrowing commitments, possible struggles with commitments and whatnot within this relationship. That could be a major problem in the future with Toka and Kaneki. Again, though, as said before, I'm not exactly too sure if what I'm looking at right here is truly trying to identify as a tarot card, so this is really up for debate in the comment section of this video. Do you think we are seeing a 5 here, or do you think I'm kind of just losing it? I'm thinking a little bit too far into it. I want to hear you guys' opinions in the comment section of this video below. With that being said, though, that's going to do it for this video. This is the tarot cards that have been found thus far within chapter 125 of Tokyo Ghoul, and I'm saying thus far because there could very well be more knowing Ishida. He's planting a shit ton of tarot cards within this video. Like this video if you enjoyed, though, and subscribe if you're new. Peace.